You've been told that manifestation is about trying harder, visualizing longer, affirming louder, raising your vibration through sheer force of will. But what if I told you that's exactly why it's not working? Here's the thing. Quantum manifestation isn't complicated. It's not about doing more. It's not about being more spiritual, more positive, or more deserving. It's simpler than you think. And that simplicity, that's precisely why it works. I'm going to show you something that almost nobody talks about. Something hidden in plain sight. The part where your effort, all that trying, all that pushing, all that desperate wanting, is actually creating the exact resistance that keeps what you want at arm's length. You're not failing because you're doing it wrong. You're struggling because you've been taught a method that fundamentally misunderstands how the quantum field actually operates. Ready to see what I mean? Let's dive in. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really hear this. How many times have you sat down with your journal, written those affirmations, visualized that future, felt that feeling, only to open your eyes and see nothing's changed? How many courses have you bought? How many crystals sit on your shelf? How many meditations have you done at 5 a.m. because someone said that's when the veil is thinnest? I know, because I've been there. And more importantly, I've worked with thousands of people who've been exactly where you are right now. You've done the work, you've shown up. You've tried to maintain that high vibe even when your bank account was screaming the opposite. You've smiled and affirmed abundance while anxiety twisted in your gut. And then, here's the worst part, you started wondering if it was you. If you had some deep hidden block, some unhealed trauma, some limiting belief so buried you couldn't even find it to fix it. Maybe you thought you weren't spiritual enough, or that you were too attached to the outcome, or that you simply didn't deserve it yet. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. It's not your fault. The exhaustion you feel, that's real. The frustration, completely valid. The skepticism creeping in, that makes perfect sense because here's what nobody tells you. Most manifestation teaching is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how consciousness interacts with the quantum field. They've given you techniques, tools, practices, but they haven't given you the actual mechanism, the thing that makes it all click. And without understanding the mechanism, you're just trying harder, which, as you've discovered, doesn't work. So here's my question for you. Are you ready to stop trying and start allowing? Here's why everything you've been taught hasn't worked, and this is going to feel both relieving and possibly a little frustrating. The quantum field doesn't respond to effort, it responds to frequency, to coherence, to the vibrational signature you're broadcasting, not through your thoughts, but through your nervous system. Most manifestation methods operate at the level of the mind. Affirmations, visualizations, positive thinking. These are all mental exercises. But here's the kicker. Your conscious mind, your thoughts, your deliberate visualizations, they account for maybe 5% of your energetic broadcast. The other 95%? That's coming from your subconscious, from your nervous system, from the electromagnetic field your heart generates, from the patterns stored in your body. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to tune a radio, you're turning the dial. That's your conscious effort, your affirmations, your visualizations. But the antenna is broken. Or worse, it's tuned to a completely different frequency because of stored trauma, because of nervous system dysregulation, because of subconscious beliefs about safety. So you can turn that dial all you want. You can visualize the clearest signal. But if the antenna, your nervous system, your body, your energetic field is broadcasting static, that's what the quantum field receives. That's what it responds to. This is why you can say, I am abundant 1,000 times while your nervous system is screaming, this isn't safe, we need to stay small, having money made our family fall apart. The field doesn't hear your words, it hears your frequency. And here's where most people get stuck. They think the solution is to try harder, to override the body with the mind, to force positivity to spiritually bypass the resistance. But you can't think your way past what you feel. You can't visualize your way past what your body believes. So here's the truth that changes everything. And I want you to pause with this for a moment. What you want isn't separate from you. It never has been. In quantum physics, there's a principle called entanglement. When two particles become entangled, they're no longer separate entities. They're one system expressing itself in two locations. Change one, and the other responds instantaneously, regardless of distance. Your consciousness and your desires work the same way. The moment you want something, you've created an entanglement with it. You and that desire are now one system. It's not over there, and you're over here, separated by time and effort and deservingness. You're already connected, already entangled, already one. But here's where it gets interesting. If you're already entangled with what you desire, why don't you have it yet? Because entanglement requires coherence. When a quantum wave is coherent, when all parts of it are aligned, synchronized, in harmony, it can collapse into physical reality. But when there's interference, when there's noise, when the signal is scrambled, it stays in the field of potential. Your desire exists, right now, in the quantum field, as a very real possibility. The only question is, are you coherent enough to collapse that wave? And coherence, my friend, doesn't come from effort. It doesn't come from trying harder or wanting more desperately or proving you're worthy. Coherence comes from alignment, from resonance, from your nervous system feeling safe enough to broadcast a clear signal instead of static. This is the shift, not from trying harder, but from becoming clearer, calmer, more coherent, from wanting to being. Let me explain what I mean, because this is where quantum physics gets practical, where science becomes practice, where understanding becomes transformation. Ready to go deeper? Let's explore how this actually works. Let me tell you about tuning forks. Stay with me. This is going to make everything click. When you strike a tuning fork at 440 Hz, something fascinating happens. If there's another tuning fork in the room, even on the other side of the room that's also tuned to 440 Hz, it will start to vibrate. Automatically, without being touched. This is called resonance, and it's not magic, it's physics. The first tuning fork creates waves. Those waves move through the medium, the air in this case, and when they reach something that matches their frequency, that thing responds as it has to. It's law. Your consciousness works exactly the same way. You are right now a tuning fork. Your dominant emotional state, your core beliefs about reality, your nervous system's sense of safety or danger, these create your frequency, your personal 440 Hz, and that frequency is constantly creating waves, moving out into the quantum field, touching everything. And here's the thing about the quantum field. It's not empty space. It's not nothing. It's an infinite web of potential containing every possible outcome, every possible timeline, every possible version of your life, including the one where you already have everything you want. That version exists right now as a real quantum possibility, as a tuning fork waiting to be activated, but it will only vibrate, only collapse into your physical reality if your frequency matches. Not your thoughts, not your affirmations, your actual vibrational frequency, the one your nervous system is broadcasting based on what it believes is safe, possible, normal for you. This is why someone can walk into a room and opportunities appear. Not because they're lucky, because their frequency matches opportunity, they resonate with it. This is why some people seem to effortlessly attract love while others struggle despite being good people. It's not about goodness. It's about frequency, about coherence. And here's where most manifestation teaching goes wrong. They tell you to change your thoughts, to think positive, to visualize, but you can't think yourself into a different frequency because thoughts are mental, but frequency is somatic. It's stored in your body, in your nervous system, in the electromagnetic field your heart generates, which, by the way, is 5,000 times stronger than your brain's. Your heart broadcasts. Your nervous system broadcasts, your body broadcasts, and that broadcast, that's what the quantum field responds to. So the real question isn't, how do I think different thoughts? The real question is, how do I shift my nervous system into a state of coherence? How do I become the frequency of what I want to experience? How do I stop being the person who wants and become the person who already has? That's the shift. That's the game. That's quantum manifestation. Let me give you another way to understand this. Think about guitar strings. If you've ever played guitar, you know the sound the string makes isn't determined by thinking about the string. It's determined by the tension, by how tight or loose that string is pulled. You can wish for a different note. You can visualize a different sound. You can affirm, I am a C chord all day long. But if the string is tuned to G, you're getting a G. Period. Your emotional body is the guitar string, and the tension you carry, the fear, the anxiety, the unworthiness, the what if it doesn't work, that tension determines your frequency. You can't think your way to a different note. You have to change the tension. And here's what's beautiful. You don't change tension by force. You don't tighten or loosen a string by willpower. You adjust it, gently, precisely, with awareness. The same is true for your nervous system. You can't force yourself into a high vibration. You can't white-knuckle your way to abundance frequency. You can't fake coherence. But you can regulate. You can attune. You can practice being in the state you want to create from, not by pretending, not by bypassing, but by actually training your nervous system to feel safe in that frequency. Because here's the paradox: the quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what feels normal to you. What your nervous system recognizes as home. If lack feels like home, you'll manifest more lack. Not because you're broken, but because you're coherent with lack. You're a perfect tuning fork for scarcity. The shift isn't about wanting abundance more. It's about making abundance feel like home. Making it feel normal, natural, safe. That's the work, not visualization, not affirmation, but embodiment. But nervous system recalibration, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Here's what most people don't understand about the nervous system, and this is critical. Your nervous system has one job: keep you alive. That's it. It doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your vision board. It cares about survival. And to your nervous system, survival means familiarity, what you know, what you've experienced, what your body has evidence for. So if you grew up in scarcity, scarcity feels safe, not because it's pleasant, but because it's known. Your nervous system has a map for it. It knows how to survive there. Abundance? That's unknown territory, and unknown equals danger. This is why people self-sabotage right before success, why relationships fall apart right when they're getting good, why money leaves as fast as it comes. It's not because you're broken. It's because your nervous system is doing its job, keeping you in the zone it knows how to navigate. Here's the thing, though. Your nervous system isn't fixed. It's adaptive. It learns. It updates. But it doesn't update through thought. It updates through experience, through felt safety, through repetition of new patterns. You have to teach your nervous system that having what you want is safe, that success won't destroy you, that being seen won't get you hurt, that having money won't make you evil or corrupt or alone. And you teach it the same way you'd teach anything, through practice, through exposure, through building new neural pathways. And let me give you an example. Let's say you want financial abundance, but every time you have extra money you feel anxious, guilty, like something bad is about to happen. That's your nervous system. It's associating wealth with danger, maybe because in your family money caused fights, or because you learned that rich people are greedy, or because having more than others feels unsafe. Your conscious mind says, I want abundance. But your nervous system says danger, familiar territory equals safety, back to broke we go. No amount of affirmations will override that, because affirmations are mental. But the nervous system is somatic. It's in your body. So what's the solution? You have to create new somatic associations. You have to practice being in the state of having in your body, not just your mind, until your nervous system updates its definition of safe. You have to build evidence, not through thought, through felt experience. This is why visualization alone doesn't work, because visualizing isn't the same as embodying. Seeing yourself with money in your mind's eye is very different from training your body to feel safe, relaxed, and at home in the frequency of abundance. One is imagination. The other is regulation, recalibration, rewiring. And that rewiring, that's where the magic happens. That's where quantum manifestation becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Let me show you how to do this. I call this the recognition protocol, and it's deceptively simple, which is exactly why it works. Here's what you're going to do. 5 minutes. That's it. No hour-long meditation, no complex ritual. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, close your eyes if that feels good, and here's the instruction. Don't try to manifest anything. Don't visualize. Don't affirm. Just breathe. Let your breath be natural, easy now. Bring to mind what you want, but instead of focusing on not having it, I want you to focus on the quality it would bring to your life. You want financial abundance? Don't focus on the money. Focus on the feeling. What does abundance actually give you? Safety, freedom, choice, ease? You want a relationship? Don't focus on the person. Focus on the quality, connection, being seen, intimacy, belonging. You want health? Focus on what that brings. Vitality, lightness, energy, presence. Get the quality, the essence, the frequency. Now, and this is where it gets interesting, ask yourself, where in my life do I already have this quality? Right now, today. Where do you already feel safe? Even a little? Where do you already feel free? Where do you already experience connection? It might be small. It might be fleeting. It might be in your relationship with your dog, or in the morning sunlight, or in the moment after you finish a workout, but find it, locate it, notice it. And then, this is key, feel it, really feel it. Let your body register that this quality already exists in your life, that you're not starting from zero, that you already know this frequency. Breathe into it. Let your nervous system soak in the evidence that you already have access to this state. Stay there for the remaining time, just resting in the recognition that what you want isn't foreign. It's already here, already part of your experience. You're not creating something new. You're expanding something that already exists. Now let me tell you about the 5 stories that are keeping you stuck, and I want you to notice if any of these sound familiar. Story number 1. Good things take time. This is probably the most widespread belief in manifestation, that big things require long timelines, that instant results are somehow less real or less stable. But here's the truth. In the quantum field, there is no linear time. All possibilities exist simultaneously. Right now, the delay you experience isn't because the universe needs time to arrange things. It's because you need time to become ready to receive, to shift your frequency, to feel safe with having. When your frequency aligns completely, manifestation can be instant. I've seen it. I've experienced it. It's not magic. It's physics. Story number 2. I have to suffer to grow. This one is insidious. The belief that pain is required for evolution. That struggle makes you worthy, that ease means you're spiritually lazy. But here's what I've learned. Growth through suffering is one path, but it's not the only path. You can evolve through joy, through expansion, through ease. In fact, when you're in a state of joy and flow, you're more open, more receptive, more capable of integrating quantum leaps of insight and transformation. Pain isn't a prerequisite, it's just familiar to most of us. Story number 3. Manifesting material things is less spiritual. This belief creates a hierarchy. It makes you feel guilty for wanting money or success or physical health. But here's the reality. The same quantum principles that create internal transformation also create external abundance. The universe doesn't distinguish consciousness becoming matter. Is consciousness becoming matter? Whether that matter is inner peace or a bank account, it's the same process, the same laws, the same field. Story number 4. If it's meant to be, it'll happen without effort. This one sounds spiritual, but it's actually passive. It removes you from the equation. It makes you a bystander in your own life. The truth? You're not passive. You're a co-creator. Your choices matter. Your intentions matter. Your frequency matters. Manifestation isn't about sitting back and hoping. It's about active alignment, conscious participation, partnership with the field. Story number 5. Wanting things for myself is selfish. This belief will sabotage you faster than almost anything else. Because if you believe that having what you want makes you a bad person, your nervous system will never allow it. But here's the truth. When you manifest from alignment, from wholeness, from overflow, you become a living example. You show others what's possible. You expand the field for everyone. Your fulfilled desires don't diminish anyone else's. They actually increase what's available. They prove that limitation is optional. So let me ask you, which of these stories are you carrying? Which one feels most true in your body right now? Here's the second practice. I call it embodiment rehearsal, and it's going to feel different than anything you've tried before. This isn't visualization, this is practice. Actual somatic practice of being the person who already has what you want. Here's how it works. Every day for just 10 minutes, I want you to move through your space as if you already are that person. Not pretending, not faking, but actually trying on the identity. The way you'd try on clothes to see how they fit. If you're calling in financial abundance, how would you move through your morning if you had complete financial freedom? Would you rush? Would you stress about the bill on the counter? Or would you move with ease, with trust? If you're calling in a relationship, how would you treat yourself if you were deeply loved? Would you skip meals? Would you talk to yourself harshly? Or would you move through the day with the gentle care of someone who knows they're cherished? If you're calling in vibrant health, how would you inhabit your body if you felt fully alive? Would you collapse on the couch? Or would you move with energy, with presence, with vitality? This isn't about forcing. It's about exploring, experimenting, giving your nervous system the felt experience of being that version of you. Because here's what happens. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experience and actual experience. If you practice being abundant, your body starts to register abundance as normal. If you practice being loved, your nervous system updates its definition of safe to include being seen. You're creating new neural pathways, new somatic associations, new evidence. And evidence is what the nervous system trusts. Not hope, not wishes evidence. So give yourself evidence. Practice being the version of you that already has it, not in your mind, in your body, in your movements, in your choices, 10 minutes a day, that's all. Watch what happens. Now we get to the deepest layer, the identity shift. And this is where everything we've talked about comes together. Most people approach manifestation as if they're a person who doesn't have the thing, trying to get the thing. But in the quantum field, that relationship, that dynamic of lack trying to obtain, actually reinforces the lack, because you're operating from the identity of person who doesn't have. And that identity broadcasts a frequency, the frequency of separation, of wanting, of not yet having. And the field responds to that frequency by giving you more experiences of not yet having. So here's the shift, and it's subtle, but it changes everything. You're not the person trying to manifest things, you're the person through whom things manifest. You're not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are the creative force of the universe, experiencing itself through the unique lens of your consciousness. Your desires aren't evidence of lack, they're evidence of connection, of entanglement, of the universe knowing itself through you. When you want something, it's because some part of the infinite field is calling itself into form through your awareness. You're not chasing something external, you're allowing something internal to externalize. This shift from I want to I am the space through which this emerges changes your entire energetic signature. You stop being the person grasping, you become the person allowing, receiving, recognizing. And here's what's beautiful about this. It removes all the pressure, all the effort, all the desperate trying. Because you're not trying to become worthy enough to receive. You're recognizing that you are the consciousness through which the quantum field knows itself, through which it creates, through which it manifests. How could you not be worthy? You're literally made of the same substance as everything you desire. You are quantum consciousness, having a temporary human experience, exploring itself through you. Your desires? They're the universe desiring to know itself in new forms through your unique expression. So when you call in abundance, you're not a poor person trying to become rich. You're infinite consciousness choosing to experience abundance through the form called you. When you call in love, you're not an unloved person hoping someone will choose you. You're love itself, recognizing itself in another form. When you call in health, you're not a sick body hoping to heal. You're the intelligent field that created your body in the first place, remembering its wholeness. This is the identity shift, from separation to unity, from lack to wholeness, from trying to create to recognizing you are creation. And when you operate from this identity, manifestation isn't something you do. It's something you allow, something that flows through you, naturally, effortlessly, inevitably, because you're not fighting against the field. You are the field, knowing itself. So let's bring this all together. Let's make it practical. Let's talk about what this actually looks like in your daily life. You wake up tomorrow and instead of immediately going to the list of things you don't have, you pause. You take a breath. You remember. You're not separate from what you desire. You're entangled with it. Already connected, already one system. The only question is coherence. How clear is your signal? How aligned is your nervous system? So throughout your day, you practice the recognition protocol. You notice where the quality you're seeking already exists, where you already feel abundant, where you already feel loved, where you already feel vital. And you don't dismiss those moments as not enough. You honor them, you feel them. You let your nervous system register them as evidence because your nervous system is building a case. It's asking, is this safe? Is this normal? Can I relax into this frequency? And every time you acknowledge what's already present, you're adding evidence to the yes column. Then you practice embodiment. You move through your space as the version of you who already has it, not performing, not pretending, but genuinely exploring. What would this feel like? How would I move? How would I speak to myself? How would I make this decision? And here's what happens. Your nervous system starts to update. The frequency of having starts to feel familiar, safe, normal. And as that happens, something shifts in the quantum field because you're no longer broadcasting the frequency of desperate wanting, you're broadcasting the frequency of natural having. And the field responds, not because you've earned it, not because you've done it right, but because that's how resonance works. That's physics. Opportunities start to appear, synchronicities increase. The right people show up, the right doors open, not through magic, through coherence, through alignment, through your nervous system finally broadcasting a clear signal instead of static. And here's the beautiful part, you're not waiting anymore. You're not in the future hoping someday you'll have it. You're here, now, already experiencing the quality, already living from the frequency, already embodying the identity. The external manifestation, that becomes a reflection, a confirmation, a physical echo of what's already happening internally. But you're not dependent on it. You're not desperately waiting for it, because you've already shifted. You're already living from that place. And that shift, that internal transformation, that's the real manifestation. Everything else is just the quantum field catching up to who you've already become. This is quantum manifestation, not as a technique to get things, but as a practice of remembering who you already are. Not as effort, as allowance, as recognition, as coming home to your own frequency. Simple? Yes. Easy? That depends on your willingness to let go of the stories, the trying, the proving. But possible? Absolutely. So here's the final truth, the thing I want you to walk away with today. What you want isn't running away from you. It never has been. It's already yours in the quantum field, in the space of infinite potential, in the timeline where you're already living it. The only distance between you and that reality is the frequency gap, the coherence gap, the gap between who you think you are and who you actually are. And that gap? It closes the moment you stop trying to become worthy and start recognizing you already are. It closes when you train your nervous system to feel safe in the frequency of having instead of the frequency of wanting. It closes when you shift from I am the person trying to manifest to I am consciousness through which manifestation flows. This is the simplicity, the elegance, the truth that's been here all along. Quantum manifestation isn't complex. It's not a long list of techniques and tools and things to do. It's a recognition, a remembering, a return to coherence. And that simplicity, that's why it works. So here's what I want from you. If this resonated, if you felt something shift, drop one word in the comments. Just one word that captures the energy moving through you right now. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to continue this journey, hit that subscribe button. Because we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore, so much more to remember. This isn't just content, it's a movement, a community of people choosing coherence over effort, remembering over trying, being over wanting. And I'd love for you to be part of it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being willing to see manifestation differently. The quantum field is listening, and it's responding to exactly who you're becoming right now. Let's see what unfolds.